pretty empty for a Sunday.
What the hell is going on here? This is a field of cannabis. This is a picture of it. I have personally verified that it is indeed marijuana. This is a police station. What the hell? Burgundy was amazing. What a place. Check out the last video from Burgundy. It's a fun one. Now I'm headed towards the Atlantic to a place near La Rochelle called Courson. But first, a quick stop. I cannot confirm nor deny any secret government work. The next day, I drove down to Peter's place. I met Peter through a friend from USC, and we stayed in touch over the years. So I've made it to La Rochelle, or near La Rochelle, here with my friend Peter, who has been kind enough to receive me for a few days.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
As usual.
We're gonna go see some stuff. Stay tuned. I recently visited Peter in the United Arab Emirates. He was living in Abu Dhabi flying for Etihad Airlines, and I went for a week just to check it out. I took a bunch of pictures. We went north to Dubai and east to the oasis town of El Ain. So knowing I was going to be in France, I had to stop by for a visit. Off to the swamp. This is the quaint little village where he lives. The church that goes unattended.
Or tabac, you get everything you want rolled up. Cigarettes, loose tobacco.
Secret message received.
So Maron is the next large port. It's actually a port on the river. So the river goes into the La Rochelle Bay, and the river that flows through there is called the Niortaise.
So the time had come to get out the drone and learn something about this area. Le Marais Poitevin. The Marais Poitevin, or the Poitevin Marsh, is a large area of marshland in western France. The marsh is split into two areas, the dry and the wet, with the dry marsh being completely reclaimed from the sea. The dikes sheltered the land from the sea. The canals protected it from the floodwater of local rivers during the winter and spring by giving it a pathway towards the ocean. In 1808, Napoleon had the river Sèvres-Niortaise cleaned out and widened. The river is the backbone of the marshlands. A quick stop at the Maise Abbey. This place once supported a huge Benedictine community.
Oh wow, give a look at this moat.
And also full of canals.
Alors, comment tu trouves la France?
La France, un pays très beau. J'adore la France. J'espère que je parle avec un accent pas très américain. Vive la France, café noisette. Bel temps.
Belle. Ouais.
So who is this Peter guy? Let's get to know him.
You're originally from Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right. 7th generation, approximately, Trinidadian.
And you met your wife who was from Martinique, and then
That's right.
and that's what got you to France eventually.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I've always wanted to be a pilot ever since I understood the world and myself. And that desire was realized when I had completed college, and my father surprised me with the offer of going to Trinidadian Aviation School. It was called CATI, Caribbean Aviation Training Institute. That's where I began my aviation career. My first job was with the Leeward Island Air Transport. I joined in 1986, spent 5 years there flying the turboprops from the Twin Otters to the Dash 8s. After 5 years, I returned to Trinidad to my national airline called BWIA. Spent 15 years there until they closed. I then, along with many other Airbus pilots, were hired in the Middle East. I ended up getting a job with Etihad Airways. Others went to Emirates Airlines. So we were dispersed in the UAE and the Middle East. Spent 13 and a half years with them, and due to COVID and my age, I was retired. And so my life is sort of back to my own. I'm more or less single. And that's about it, really.
Today, it's off to La Rochelle.
Cool. So here we are, La Rochelle proper. Peter actually lives about 20 or 30 minutes outside in Courson. And we are in La Rochelle today, checking it out on a Sunday.
So this is Place de Verneuil on the left. Also the bus stop, the main bus station. Lots of coffee shops and shops and so on. Lots of parks, as you see, a lot of trees, foliage, flora, fauna.
You're still within the lines.
The old city is remarkable for its streets lined by arcades. Some 3 kilometers of arcades in all. In bygone centuries, the arcades housed the booths of market traders, merchants, and money changers. For hundreds of years, La Rochelle was one of the greatest port cities in France. Great sailing ships filled with wine and salt would depart from the historic port, bound for the New World or for the ports of Northern Europe. By the 12th century, La Rochelle was the first city in France to be a city controlled not by kings or dukes, but by a mayor and aldermen, a type of governance more common in Northern Europe. From the mid-16th century until the siege of 1628, La Rochelle was a great Huguenot Protestant bastion in Catholic France. But in 1627, Cardinal Richelieu laid siege to the city. When it was over, most of the ramparts of the old city were demolished, leaving just the towers guarding the old port, the Great Lighthouse Tower, and the city walls between the two. Today, maritime trade has returned to La Rochelle, including a center for yachting and pleasure craft. With moorings for 3,500 yachts, La Rochelle is now the largest yachting marina in France.
Wow. Pretty empty for a Sunday. Okay, today we're off to Ile de Rey.
Yep.
Which is kind of off of La Rochelle, right?
Correct.
And it's known for, who's who of France has a house there.
That's right.
It's the Beverly Hills or the Bel Air of France.
Maybe.
The Hamptons, perhaps.
Perhaps.
In 1987, a 1.8-mile bridge was built to connect the island to the mainland. Since then, tourism on the island has taken off, along with the real estate prices. During Roman times, Ile de Rey was an archipelago consisting of 3 small islands. The island was English for 89 years, when Eleanor of Aquitaine in 1154 became the Queen of England through her marriage with Henry Plantagenet.
Now, you know how to say lemonade in French, right?
Limonade?
Isn't it citron pressé? Have you heard that?
Yeah, but
Citron pressé? So what if a Citroën got into an accident? Would that be a Citroën Passé?
It would look like one.
That was for you, Adrian. So we're stopping here at the boulangerie to have a little something. C'est libre, mais il n'y a pas de chèvre.
Alors, je trouve des chaises. J'en vois une là-bas. Vous êtes deux, messieurs?
Deux.
Je vais voir ça.
Oh là là. Oh là là.
In the mid-12th century, this Cistercian monastery was founded on the isle, where the abbot Isaac of Stella sojourned. The first attack on this place dates from 1294 by the Anglo-Normans. Then it was partially destroyed by the English in 1388, and then completely destroyed by them in 1462. Finally, in 1574, it was the Protestants during the Wars of Religion who finished it off. We made our way towards the main city of Saint Martin De Rey, stopping first at the Citadel. In 1627, after 3 months of combat in the siege of Saint Martin de Rey, the English lost more than 4,000 out of 7,000 troops during the campaign. I mean, look at the place. Built over a decade under Louis XIV from 1681 to 1691 by the military engineer Vauban to defend and shelter the local population of the island against a siege and enemy landing, the fortifications of Saint Martin de Rey are unique by their scale. 8.7 miles of ramparts on a semicircle of just under a 2-mile radius. It's massive. The port of Saint Martin de Rey is like a small version of La Rochelle, enclosed behind 17th century ramparts. We strolled through town and stopped for lunch right here.
Okay, we're here at Café de la Paix in Ile de Rey, in the little main town, and Peter ordered some moule, mussels, and I got a margarita pizza because I'm not a big fan of the seafood. It's going to be coming soon. Look how busy it is here. There they are. Good? Are they good?
This one is a nice size.
That's a nice size one there? Small. I got a margarita pizza here. And we're going to eat this. I love the little fish in here, and they're just slowly rising up. The tide's coming in. Probably 3 hours. This is going to be completely back up high. That's crazy. I think in Newfoundland they have the largest tidal change in the Bay of Fundy or something. It goes. This reminds me of that.
Goodbye, quaint little town. So tomorrow I will be heading north to Brittany. I'm going to stop at Mont Saint-Michel on my way back to Amsterdam. I want to see if I can get a drone shot of that amazing place. I'm not staying on the island, but in the nearest town of Beauvoir. I would like to extend my most sincere gratitude and appreciation to Peter for hosting me, and I hope to see a lot more of you in the future, my friend.
Okay, I just left my friend Peter's house in Courson. I'm driving down these small back roads to get up to the highway, where I'm going to head north to Nantes and Rennes, and then up to Mont Saint-Michel. And it should take me about 3.5 hours. It says about 3.5 hours. Tight waves here.
On the next episode, I get that shot that I went there to get. It's the last leg of the tour. A final blast through Amsterdam before I head home. Hi, I'm asking you to get involved in a pyramid scheme that will cost you nothing. Just get 5 friends to subscribe and then get those 5 friends to get 5 more people to subscribe. And we'll be there.